Hey there, Shauna here. And I have a really good piece of advice, a suggestion for you today. See, I'm in this amazing mastermind with other entrepreneurs, and last month it was all about mindset and how we talk about ourselves to ourselves. Maybe you can think back to that cartoon. What cartoon was that where it had, the little devil on one shoulder and little angel on one shoulder, and they're telling you what to do, kind of thing. And if you think about it, we do this, and we sometimes allow it to get in our own way. So it's very eye-opening because, I think a lot of us are always saying things to ourselves, and that we would never think to say to someone else. Do you ever do that? Raise your hand. Let me know that you know what I'm talking about. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how important it is to monitor that little voice in your head and to help you feel better, to help you progress towards your goals, whatever they may be. So first, let me introduce myself. I'm Shauna Holt from ShaunaHolt.com, and I help moms ditch diets, overwhelm, and deprivation to finally drop the 50 or more pounds that weigh them down so that they can stop watching their families from the sidelines. Okay, so about that little voice in your head that narrates your life, and it constantly monitors everything that you do or say or think. If we're being honest, sometimes it's a little judgy, right? If you pay attention to that voice, you know what I'm talking about. You're not alone. It's probably the biggest stumbling block that we all have in making being successful towards our goals, especially when it comes to healthy changes in our lives. That voice, it can nag at you, judge how well that you're doing things or what you look like, constantly tell you all the things that you should be doing versus what you're actually getting done. And let's be honest, sometimes it can be kind of a jerk. In fact, on some days, you wouldn't even want to be a friend with that someone who talked to you like that, or even spend any time with them. For example, if you had a setback to do something and it doesn't think that you're being perfect, that little voice can blow things way out of proportion and turn it into a rant about how your life, or at least one area of your life, is just one big negative defeat. And the worst thing is, this voice can turn on autopilot, focusing only on the negative things in your life. It might write off anything positive that happens as just a fluke. It can call you names or label you some kind of negative way. It also can set impossibly high standards that make you feel overwhelmed or defeated before you even try to do anything. But there's something to remember about that voice. Just like our behaviors, you can get into habits with your thinking without even realizing it. And it's kind of like, when you bite your nails, you don't realize you're going to bite your nails until you're doing it. And then you're like, stop that. So the other thing with habits is that with a little time and effort, we can change them. That nagging, critical voice that can be there out of habit, you can absolutely turn that voice around. How awesome is that, right? But how do you do it? How do you shut it off? Well, first of all, you have to pay attention to that voice and what it's saying. Being aware of the conversation that's going on in your head is the most important piece of the puzzle to get started. So every time you start to head down a negative or a judgy road with yourself, stop and replace that thought with something positive right away. It's important to remember that you are not your thoughts. You have thoughts and they come and go. And over time, as long as you're paying attention, you can begin to put them in their place. So there's a quote, let me see his name, Eckhart Tolle. He has a great quote. It's rather than being your thoughts and emotions, be the awareness behind them. Now, the real power that you have is being able to consciously create and choose certain thoughts over others. Your body responds to your mind. So if you're allowing your thoughts to run wild like a stampede and bringing you down, there's no telling where that end result will be. So here's an example in my own life. A while ago, I had this massive to-do list that I thought I was never going to get through it. I was feeling really tired, so it was making it even harder to get stuff done. I found myself beating myself up mentally, nagging myself to just get more stuff done. Then one day I noticed something. My inner voice, it was constantly saying, stop being so lazy. What's wrong with me? I'm so tired. I mean, I was constantly talking to myself about having no energy and being tired. So I decided to do a little experiment to turn that around. Every time that I caught my voice telling me I was tired, I stopped, and instead I told myself that I was healthy and strong and full of energy, and that I could accomplish anything that I set my mind to do. I just said, I got this. So in a very short period of time, and I mean, we're talking minutes, I started to feel a lot less tired. And I felt a lot more motivated to finally get to the bottom of the list of the things that I had to get done. And there was, are there ways that you can change your thoughts to help you finally reach the success that you deserve? Now, I realize that, you may feel like this is all a little woo-woo, it's all a little out there, a little weird. But just in case that you are feeling that way, give it a try before you judge it. Treat yourself with the respect and love that you deserve so that you can finally start to feel motivated almost immediately. So this week, tell me, are you going to be paying attention to your thoughts, consciously creating the thoughts that you want to embody? Let me know. Let me know maybe even what you changed those words to. Anyway, I hope that you got something out of this, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.